Okay, collective, I mean, I don't have the deck as straightened out as I usually do, but does that really matter? No, it doesn't. As you clearly see, we have father cards, we got the father of air, and we have the father of fire. So there's a lot of I'm picking up on a lot of tension. I'm picking up on a lot of pent-up energy, a lot of pent-up aggression, even pent-up vulnerability that a masculine hasn't dared. I have not dared to even show this part of myself, and I want to, yet I don't know how, and there's other masculines a part of this dynamic that are refusing to even try, refusing to show a side of themselves that they have not done in years. I'm hearing centuries, like it's like there's no reason for me to do this now, especially because I've got this promotion. I've gotten a sense of clarity when it comes to how I'm being represented or how I'm being supported, right? Or how there's some type of reciprocation when it comes to energy within itself, some kind of mutual understanding within individuals. And it's like someone doesn't want to be a letdown. They feel like if they show a part of themselves that everything is going to fall. And that's so unfair to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, someone is putting way too much pressure on themselves because they feel like they're going to be judged. And if you're constantly sticking in this mindset, you're always going to be disappointed. And you know why? Because you don't see how you're constantly disappointing yourself. So how can you provide without overextending yourself? How can you provide for yourself without overextending yourself? It just calls for questioning things. It calls for trial and error. And it calls for doing things differently. Period. Because you will never know until you actually try, right? So let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. There's more fire energy here, as we have fire that fell out of the deck. So with fire, I feel like fire, the symbol of fire, is really holding on tightly and connecting to self-wisdom, always knowing where you come from, and your goal, your personal goal, and your values. But when it comes to Father of Air being at the top, connected to the Father of Fire, that tells me, how can we finesse these motherfuckers, okay? How can we finesse the system? How can we finesse this group of people, this environment, okay? How can we finesse them? And it's all about how much you choose to say and how much you're actually choosing to hold back. So that really all reflects off of the way you choose to move and what you feel is going to be a benefit to your dynamic. And that shit is not easy. It's not easy making decisions like this, but at the same time, you have to move somehow, and you also have to move somewhere, right? So at the end of the day, all it calls for is for you to do the best for yourself. And I'm not saying these decisions are easy, but if you're not making a decision at all and you're constantly just being stagnant the entire time, what do you think is going to come out of this? There will be no transition of any kind. There will be no change of any kind. When at the end of the day, this is what we actually want as a collective. Make your move. Okay? Somebody needs to hear that. Make your fucking move. Because somebody else might just try. Okay? I'm definitely seeing that too. And they may do it in the most slickest way. And that could be through vulnerability. They won't show all of their cards. And not only that, it's because they're used to not showing up in an authentic way like you are. So let's say they try to show up to your boss, who is their boss as well, right? They do that and they come to them with some bullshit ass story. but there's so much vulnerability within it that it gets your boss moving to the point where it's like, you know what? I think I can find my trust within me. I mean, within you. I can find my trust within my employee, within this specific colleague of yours, because they came to me. You know, the words at the end of the day that they're choosing to use, you can't take that back. It is clear as day what they're actually presenting to you, and that somehow is supposed to help guide you. It's supposed to convince you, in other words. Okay, so don't let all that extra shit fool you. Just be who you are. You know? Don't become hesitant off of what you actually know. Because sometimes, believe it or not, the people who are fully ready for leadership roles and opportunities that they felt like they couldn't reach, they are in a sense meant to be a leader. They're meant to be those leaders for others, and they feel like they can't show up because they don't have enough experience or knowledge. But really what it's calling to you for some type of, I don't know why I'm hearing admiration, but that's not even the point of it. Maybe that's some connection, that has some connection for you, but really what you need to understand is show up as who you are always, because you never know how you are truly saving this planet, how you are actually truly saving other people who feel like they just want to give up, who want to literally give up on this life. Do what you can to show up for those people. Do what you can to show up for those individuals. Do what you can to show up for yourself always, so that can be reflected, so that can be mirrored. If you can't find that stability and that common ground for yourself in order to find it within others, you know, you're not going to understand yourself. I feel like that's what it always comes back to. You cannot tell me you know anybody based off who you're trying to pick out and judge and all this bullshit, when you can't even face your own fears. You can't even face your own demons. You can't even face your own trials. And it doesn't call for you to be perfect either. It just calls for you to be honest, to be yourself. And I also feel like the universe and our ancestors are also looking for that confirmation from you that you still have a heart, that you still have a huge heart. That's willing to give, that's willing to share, that's willing to mirror however that needs to be felt. It will be sorted out. Things can always be sorted out. Things will be figured out. It's okay to make mistakes. I feel the need to say that too. Someone's being way too hard on themselves because they've made mistakes, and it's like, yo, shut up. Listen to literally nothing to find yourself again, to find what could at least click with you, to click with the things that you can at least resonate so you can find yourself. It's okay if you need to take a few steps back, but never lose yourself. Don't give the anticipation to even give yourself that, because you don't deserve that. So why put yourself through that, right? You'll figure it out. But when it comes to the most part of it all, just find yourself. It's okay to get lost in things. It's okay to get lost in situations and maybe even people, but you gotta feel shit out to find what's actually familiar to you and what makes sense to you and what you can vibrate off of so that you can actually lead and grow through what you know. Love you.